even do shit today either. I didn't have work and I'm...
What it is, every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government.
Explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking Fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? And they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic Feds. Because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
leadership perspective.
Y'all have no plan. They don't never talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Head of America, you grabbing pedophile, we hate you.
I'm here in Boynton Beach, Florida. One of the No Kings rallies just wrapped up. I spoke to a number of the protesters who were here. This is what they had to tell me. What is it that brought you out here today?
The lack of democracy, the lack of respect for us, the lack of this war is ridiculous. Our president is above the law, doesn't have to answer for anybody, just does what he pleases. And I think that he's going south, and I mean that in a mental capacity.
You see this crowd? It goes down. Thousands of people are on these 4 blocks right here. You got to stop, or at least say what I have to say about Donald Trump, which is he's got to go, brother. He's killing us.
I want to bring my own thing, bring my guitar and play some music, and people have been singing along. And I think we all recognize that this is a transitional phase in this country's history, and we have to stand up for what's right and what we believe in. And if we don't do it, then who's going to do it, you know? So
he needs to go. He got us into a war we never got into. He is taking immigrants and taking them out of their house and Americans, and we hate him.
of unions, charities, politicians, celebrity backers, and one of the people that's going to be performing on the stage I'm joined by now is singer Billy Bragg. Look, Billy, this was formed in response at the end of last year to the Unite the Kingdom marches, wasn't it? Explain sort of the thinking.
Well, the thinking is that Unite the Kingdom...
Seems like there's a lack of diversity here today. That it's mostly people who look like you and I, and I just...
It is not for black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a black person. It is not safe for them, and they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Okay. What do you think about voter ID? Do you think it's racist?
It's 100% a tactic to control the population and prevent people from voting, so that the only votes so that the gerrymandering can work, so that white voters can vote in white Christian males.
Have you been voting blue most of your life?
I voted blue in the womb.
Ah, wonderful.
Yeah.
If you had to vote for a Republican, J.D. Vance or Rubio, which one would you pick if you had to?
Yeah. I would slit my throat.
Ooh, yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That goes hard, Lucky.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Gray Mars.
It's Mia.
85 Slim.
I'm a skeptic.
Mr. Rippy Unfiltered. Mr. Rippy Unfiltered.
So as you can see, No Kings was the biggest protest in history. Mia, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's their constitutional right to protest, regardless if we like it or not. It's still their constitutional rights, and they are exercising it.
For sure. So this is what Robert De Niro said at the protest.
Must be stopped, and he must be stopped now.
Amen.
It's time to say no to kings. It's time to say no to Donald Trump. We've had enough. No King Trump. No unnecessary wars that rob our resources, sacrifice our brave servicemen and women, and slaughter innocents. No corrupt leader enriching himself and the Epstein class buddies. No taking away health care from our most vulnerable neighbors. No unaffordable groceries. No unaffordable energy. No unaffordable housing. And no inflation at its highest level since COVID.
Slim, you love Robert De Niro. Should he be speaking on this?
Hell no. No celebrity should be speaking on this, man. At the end of the day, just Trump hate. You know what I mean? It's real funny how those people that are protesting are the same people that get to go home and watch Netflix and order DoorDash in the safety of their own home. Just saying, just saying.
So this happened at the No Kings protest. Skeptic, I know you don't like ICE. Do you feel like this went too far, or do you feel like this puts a bad light on the Democratic Party that's happening out there?
I think that there are some chaotic people that are going to cause chaos on either side. And I disagree with violence. I've always said, I don't think that violence, well, I wouldn't say that every time violence is not the solution, but I think that there's a better way for us to get to a solution that is going to be what we're doing. It's marching and it's voting and it's the blue wave, the blue tsunami at this point, coming in and changing who's sitting in political power.
Okay. So some people think that it's all a performance.
Say that white people don't know how to protest because you guys have never actually had to fight for anything if it included another group. Because why I don't understand. Since when did it become the standard? Since when did Zephyr shut the fuck? Since when did it become the standard that how successful a protest is determined by how many people show up? If 100,000 people show up but y'all don't do shit, you didn't fucking do anything. If 1,000 people show up and you just walk up a street and walk back, you didn't fucking do anything. If you're in a protest that is collaborating with the police department on a Saturday so no one has to miss work or no one has to block traffic, then that's not a fucking protest. That's a goddamn parade. Any peaceful protest that occurs, at the very least, there must be a level of networking between the people who attend. But I know y'all aren't talking to each other. The last 2 times I went to these protests, everyone was in their own groups. Y'all weren't even loud for real. Look at all these videos. People aren't even yelling. They aren't really saying anything. They're just walking with a fucking poster board that they took 20 minutes to make at home from the fucking dollar store. What is going on? You guys aren't fellowshipping. You guys aren't building coalition. You guys aren't doing anything. You're just walking up a street and walking back just to say that you were there. And then on top of that, if you look at their website of demands, all of it is centered around Donald Trump. Why is Donald Trump at the center of oppression? These things have existed. These systems have existed long before then. And that's why all of these protests are just a sea of white faces, because it's full of people who have never listened to minorities a day in their life other than to boost their own fucking ego and social credit. Full of people who only don't like Trump because he's overtly mean. That's why. They don't like his optics. That's it. If he was a lot more sly in his racism, sexism, and homophobia, they would have nothing to fucking say. But they do this to stand on a goddamn high horse, but they're still fundamentally useless. I'm saying this because the first 2 protests I attended, I was absolutely disgusted with the behavior of people, specifically in Philadelphia, which is one of the biggest places for protests to happen. There were people at this No Kings protest talking about how racist and classist and disgusting Donald Trump was. Thousands of people all saying the same thing, and I watched every single one of them walk past the entire block of homeless people. I actually saw someone in a fucking frog costume, and there was a homeless man sitting next to them, and I witnessed people take the pictures at an angle just so they wouldn't catch the...
Damn good clip, Gray.
Mr. Rippey, so I saw your social media. You talked about a No Kings protest. You said it was basically unsuccessful. Do you feel like what that girl was saying in that clip was correct?
Well, yeah, of course. But at the end of the day, just like Mia said, that's one thing I love about America. That's one thing I love about not having a king. You know, they have the right to protest. Doesn't matter how ridiculous I think it is. And if you feel that way, I don't think celebrities should have an opinion. I just wish they'd keep their mouth shut. They're not connected to the average American. So they just out there virtue signaling and trying to get more clout. But at the end of the day, feel free to protest. Doesn't matter how pointless I think it is.
For sure. So y'all brought up celebrities. Robert De Niro said he's been suffering since Trump been in office.
Every morning when I get up, I reach for my phone to look at the headlines of the day. And for some time now, I start every morning depressed about the latest outrage from our would-be king. I mean, it's amazing. Every fucking day, there's something new and crazy. But it's different on this day because all over the country, in cities and towns and factories and on farms, north, south, east, west, millions of us are coming together to declare no kings. It is indeed a beautiful, hopeful day in the United States of America. And you, Minnesota, are at the epicenter. It is your courage and your commitment that...
So, Mia, you said he can't be suffering? Nothing can be happening to him?
Oh my God, stop it. Come on. Like, he's fine, bro. Brody, as Slim would say, is fine. He's not waking up depressed. He's waking up in $1 million mansion. He's waking up with a private chef with his family close to him. He don't care if gas is $5 or $10. It don't touch him because he is not of the same class as us. If this is a class war, everything that's happening is happening in his favor. He's getting those tax breaks. He's getting all of the goodies that Donald Trump is siphoning from us to the upper class. He's a paid person. He's doing this because he's getting paid. All those people there are getting paid. That entire protest is fake and it's all paid people because those are the same people that are saying they're for America and no kings. Where were they for Epstein's list? See, nobody put any money when it came to Epstein's list and all of the stuff we found out. So the fact that nobody protested anywhere across the country when it came to Epstein's list, the fact that it has consumed our entire government would be more worthy of a cause to protest. regular Americans should have protested that. And the fact that nobody did, not a single protest anywhere, just tells me that these No Kings protests are paid for, period. And then if you go on their website and you look at the sponsors, you see a lot of the same reoccurring people and organizations that are paying these people to be out here. It's all theater. It's all fake and it's all theater. I'm sure plenty of people there do believe in No Kings, don't like Donald Trump. But at the end of the day, the networking and the organizing, it's all paid for. Like I said, they had more of a reason to protest what happened with Epstein and how all of those people are now currently running our government than they do just specifically Donald Trump. And they didn't.
For sure. So
hey, Robert need to stop watching CNN. That's his problem. Every morning he watched CNN. I believe that's what the problem is.
So Slim been waiting on a good clip. So Slim, here you go.
Part of the Republican Party.
That's right. Former Democrat, former liberal.
Yeah.
I was a liberal Democrat my whole life.
Is that because the bag has got so intense and so heavy that you had a whole nother, you up there with the elite now?
Not even close. Not even close. Democrats don't care about black people.
Okay,
and they don't care about people. They don't care about people of color. And the Republicans do, and that's the misconception.
And you know what? I agree with you 100%.
Thank you,
People
Nick.
don't know that the Democrats is the party of the KKK.
Yep.
People don't know that the Republicans are the party that freed the slaves.
Yep.
I mean, both of you and I have some conservative views. You just a little bit more outspoken about it than I am. And I don't subscribe to neither party. I rock with W.E.B. Du Bois when he said there's no such thing as two parties. It's just one evil party with two different names. So
yeah, I mean, look, I listen. I'm not married to any party.
right.
I voted for Donald Trump because we had two options, and he was definitely by far the better option for us. And as of now, I agree with a lot of things that he's doing.
Cleaning house.
Yeah.
He doing what he said he was going to do.
Guess what? If there's a time where I don't agree, I'll say I don't agree.
Yeah. We got the Gulf of America now.
Period.
He's charging, he's like the club. He's charging a $5 million bottle service fee to get into the country.
I know, listen. But guess what?
Slim, you've been waiting for this. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, exactly how I feel, man. I mean, it's good to joke and talk about it when you're on the logical spectrum, man. And again, to each his own. This is America, but at the end of the day, what we saw with this person in general has been unprecedented. We've never seen it. We'll never see it again. There'll never be another Donald Trump. We all know this, right? But at the end of the day, man, those who really, really fuck with him, they know what's up. Those who hate him, they can't see what's up. It's just how it is.
Okay, so Amber Rose had a lot more to say. This is what she said.
White people should be able to say nigga. And I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, shit.
Because no one, when you really stop giving a fuck about stupid, dumbass words, will stop killing each other. And Nick, it's very different. You know, if it says the hard R and they're pointing at you, it's very different than rap lyrics or saying, oh, that's my nigga, that's my homie.
Right. If somebody's using a term as a derogatory term,
but we know that.
You know the difference between somebody just saying
we're all
a
smart
rap
enough.
lyric.
We're all
Absolutely.
smart enough to know what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
So why are we putting so much damage and pain behind? I let my kids curse. They have freedom of speech.
Right.
Why live in America if you don't have freedom of speech? And I let my kids do that. Now, do they say, mommy, fuck you? No.
They bet not.
Do they say, mommy, you're a bitch? No.
Right.
They know.
Mr. Rippey, what do you got to say? Do you agree with her?
I agree with her to a certain extent. I mean, the whole I let my kids cuss because freedom of speech and all that. It's way deeper than that. But one thing I will say about that clip, consider the fact that I really don't care about celebrities' opinion, but I agree with Nick and Amber Rose 100% except for that one that is brought up. But there are a lot of celebrities out there that's bashing him. A lot of people on the left that's bashing him, talking about, oh, he too stupid to realize that the party switch. I'm so sick and tired of debunking that myth. And as much hate as these celebrities get just for having an independent thought, that goes to show who's really the cult. I was talking to this lady yesterday talking about not all MAGA's racist, but every racist person said MAGA. You know, it's stupid shit like that. That's the reason why you can't have a conversation. Considering the fact that the racism I experience is coming from the left and every other black conservative. I'm welcome when I went to a Trump rally for the first time when I was on the left. I wasn't welcome when I went to the Obama rally when I had told them nothing about voting for Trump. So it just, I'm glad they actually said it because it's getting people to actually look into what's really going on. If you are open-minded, you actually going to start looking into it. But there are a lot of people that saying, "Oh, he's too stupid to realize that the party switched," and I'm tired of that stupid line.
Okay, so Amber Rose did say a lot more.
Biracial people are not black people. We're just not.
Now, when you talk to other biracial people, how do they feel about what you? Do they agree with you?
To each his own.
Do most of them say, "I'm finally, you said it," or like
yes.
People don't understand?
Most of them say that. Finally, Amber is saying it for us.
Right.
Now, if there's other biracials that, like a Colin Kaepernick, for an example, that identify as black,
right.
Again, his prerogative, he can do what he wants.
Right.
I just think it's delusional to say that you're a black person when you have a whole.
But men is different. So like men, like, cause
that's why they pick on Drake.
Yeah, like Drake, the stigmas. You talked about that a lot.
They pick on Drake because Drake embraces his Jewish white side. He embraces that side wholeheartedly, and they don't.
So then,
Mia, you're black and white. Amber Rose is black and white. Do you agree with her?
I identify as black. However, I caveat that with black people are the first motherfuckers to tell me that I'm not black. So I never get white people giving me any grief. But however, it's always black Americans are the first motherfucker to tell me you're biracial. Even though phenotypically I'm black, at minimum I'm a person of color. All right, even if I may have, since I'm biracial, I look a little bit more Dominican than anything, but still, I'm a person of color. But it really be black Americans be the first ones to be like, no, you're biracial. You're biracial. You're biracial. That's all I hear from these fucking people all the time. It's ignorant. And I feel, and you know what? I feel worse for people like Doc because he's real black. He's just light skinned. Like we don't come in different flavors. Like we don't come in caramel. Like we don't come in latte. Like you know what I mean? Like we don't come in almond. Like he's actually real black, but he's just light skinned, and I'm sure gets the same shit from motherfuckers.
All right, Doc. Speak for the light skins.
First off, Amber Rose need to stick to hustle in that hustle box. That's the only thing she ever been good at. We don't need her opinion on nothing else. Secondly, we did. Of course, I was always made fun of. I was light skinned in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So you know that's a given. But something that I learned growing up very early is that you black to everybody else who not black. Black folks, we just like to make fun of each other. And also another thing that we learned is we didn't decide if biracial people were black. Society decided that when we were in bondage. They said if you had one drop of blood in you, then you were considered black. They didn't let the master's children get the treatment of, you know what I'm saying, YT people, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I think Amber Rose is just somebody who's she's compromised morally to begin with. So we can't completely value her opinion. You know, I ain't never seen Amber Rose with a job. You know what I'm saying? She worried about being black. She just don't fit into that category because she been hustling this, you know what I'm saying, this used you know what I'm saying, whatever you call it these days now, you know what I'm saying, for so long that she just can't realize that. But you know, I think like that was just the ideals in the country. The ideals is, and everybody was founded on that. If you had one drop of African American blood in you and you were black, you know what I mean? So I'm not listening to these crazy people.
Could I make
but it is gonna make fun of you in the hood.
The interesting thing to me about the whole Amber Rose thing, and I think it's a couple other artists, is that MAGA calls you a degenerate. MAGA looked at these women and literally said, "You are what's wrong with the culture." They looked at Nicki Minaj. Charlie Kirk was one of those that was like, Nicki Minaj and women like Amber Rose are what's corrupting our young people. And it's funny to me that you would then in turn try and ride for those people that are calling you a degenerate. Like, when I look at like 3 6 Mafia, right? I want to say that they're Latino, but the majority of their following is in the Black community. They understood that they have to have a level of respect. And like, to me, when I look at Amber Rose, whether you want to identify as white, Asian, whatever the hell you want, that's up to you. But your platform was built on Black culture. Like, she literally used that in order to make money. She dated Black men. She was brought into fame by the Black community to then in turn go and side with people that are talking against that community that held you up is kind of a disrespect. On top of you being a woman who has made the majority of her money off of showing her body and dating people solely because you are attractive in your sexuality, and they called you a degenerate and you don't care. You don't care. You're like, I still think that they are right. I still think I'm going to side with the people that don't like me.
For sure. So I want to
Still
get
a
all
degenerate.
that this.
She's still a degenerate.
So Chili from TLC was accused of making donations to Trump's campaign.
So, Chili from TLC is a MAGA supporter, and I've been asked to give my thoughts. So here goes. In 2017, she said All Lives Matter. She got dragged, and then she walked it back. Then we find out she's following Don Jr., Tommy Lahren, Terrence Williams, and Newsmax. No progressive sites at all. Then she reposts some debunked conspiracy theory about Michelle Obama from an account that pushes flat earth and lizard people. And she never addressed it. Then, well, the FEC has dropped their records and nearly $800 to Trump's PAC, $63 to NRSC, and $7 to Ted Cruz. 17 donations in all. So this isn't a slip, this is a pattern. She went from no scrubs to now financing one. Now, here's where it gets complicated. T-Boz has sickle cell. She has publicly fought for the Affordable Care Act through policies that now Chili's money helps to defund. This is weird. But T-Boz knows this. She has always known this, and she is still on that tour. They just announced their tour. So either they have an understanding we're not privy to, or T-Boz is operating at a level of compartmentalizing what's going on between them. You know, that might be a teachable moment for all of us, because how many of us have someone we love whose politics make our stomach turn? Here. And we still show up, right? So T-Boz is modeling something a lot of us preach, but very few actually practice. That doesn't mean Chili's choices don't have consequences, because they do. The PR move is simple. Chili has to speak up, not a publicist, her, because silence right now is, a confession. So I want to know from you, does this change how you feel about TLC? Will you still buy those tickets? Will you still play their music? Because this reporting is spreading. Can the damage be mitigated, or has the internet already decided? I want to hear you in the comments.
Mr. Ripper, you made a post saying that the Democrats have left as a cult because Nick Cannon basically came out on the right and Chili came out on the right, and then, people were upset. So what's your thoughts on what she said?
The thing is, she should be forced to apologize, and I'm mad that because she got caught lying. At the end of the day, just like what this woman just said, are you still going to listen to her music? You're going to go to her tours? Why must you just excommunicate yourself or just exit these people out of your lives? Most of the celebrities are on the left. I mean, I just watched Goodfellas earlier today. Robert De Niro is one of my favorite actors. When Eminem told us to stop listening to him, I bump Eminem all the time. I don't care about their political views, but it seems as if every time somebody come out and they're labeled conservative, everybody want to turn their backs on them. They want to deport Nicki Minaj. I don't care about no celebrity's opinion. I'm just in it for entertainment. But these people go to the extreme to cancel people like it's a type of shock. The majority of Americans vote for Donald Trump. It's not a little small pocket. It's okay to just admit, yeah, I fucks with Trump. It's not a big deal. Why y'all make it a big deal? Because it's not. This is a majority of Americans' view.
So, Skeptic, you're the most progressive person on here, and it seems like once a person, once a person goes against the left, because the right is accused of being a cult, but it seems like once a person goes against the left, they are kind of excommunicated. Do you feel like that's true, and do you feel like that's necessary?
So I'll say this: I used to agree to some point with what like Mr. Crippy just said. I used to agree with this. I used to think that way. But when Charlie Kirk died and we were not allowed to say anything, and literally they were trying to deport people and they doxed people because they were exercising their freedom of speech. When I saw that from the right, I understood that no, both people do it. And both people given the chance to completely destroy somebody's life, they will take that chance. It's very rare that you see a person that sees another person who's making a mistake and they say, yeah, I'm not going to destroy you even though I have the ability to do so. So it's done on both sides. Like, to be completely like intellectually honest with you, it's done on both sides, whether or not it's right. So it's hard to separate what somebody stands for and then you look at their art. So it's interesting that people on the right are now saying that, because when it was the shoe was on the other foot, they weren't saying that. And I'm saying as an overall, the right was saying deport people who were talking bad about Charlie Kirk, and then you see Trump come out and say, good, I'm glad that, I forget what his name was, died, and I'm glad he's dead. So like there's this bias of who can speak and say what when, right? So we have to stay consistent, where if you're going to cancel someone because they're talking about Charlie Kirk and what happened to him, then when people come in and cancel you for donating money or for supporting MAGA, that is now having this backlash because they're trying to get rid of the ACA, they're negatively affecting a lot of aspects of research, then yeah, I mean, it's going to give and take.
Okay, so I'm gonna play what.
Can I say something right quick? Now, according to what Skeptic is saying, I don't know about the Charlie Kirk thing, deportation, but I would give credit because of what happened with Drewski. There are people on the right that's talking about destroying him, and so it does happen, but not to the same extent as when it comes down to the left, to the right. But the whole Drewski thing, we have people on the right who I'm very disappointed. When do we become so sensitive? Comedy is comedy. I didn't think it was funny, and I was expecting to be funny because I actually like Drewski. Me and my wife we seen a little picture of it. We said we couldn't wait till you get home and watch. You watch it, it's not that funny. But there are conservatives that are talking about get rid of this guy, he needs to go. Yo, when do we become so sensitive? So actually, I can agree with that.
That shit was funny, Rip. My bad, bro.
No, man, it could have been funnier. I was disappointed because I like Drewski. I was like, it could have been funnier. I mean, it could have.
It was funny. 500 million people watched it and laughed. It was funny because it's true.
I was expecting to be hilarious. It's like Dave Chappelle last special. I'm like, this is about to be hilarious. It disappointed me. That's just my opinion. But hey, most people find it funny, so.
It was the stares into the camera. That right there.
Yeah, no, that was funny. I give kudos to that. That was funny. But the whole walking out on stage and all, I'm like, man, come on. You can do better. You're Drewski. You're hilarious. This is a disappointment.
Well, glad to see a Republican and Democrat can agree on here. But I want to play what Chili said about Michelle Obama. We get me and Dr. respond.
Hey guys, I wanted to come on here to address a few things that's circulating on the internet that's very concerning to me. Let me say this first. I have the utmost respect and admiration for Michelle Obama, and I would never say or do anything that is disrespectful to her or to any woman. I would never do that. And I had no clue that this repost had happened until I started getting phone calls and text messages from everybody, and I immediately went to my page to see what was going on. Now, mind you, I'm not very computer savvy, so I'm looking for this repost button, and I see that all of these buttons are very, very close to each other. And clearly I was scrolling and my thumb hit the repost button. Again, I had no clue that something like this happened until I got all the calls. But of course, I took that down, and, I would never post anything like that. I would never do something like that. That is not my character. I have supported the Obamas. I gave to the campaign, both runs, voted twice for him, and supported the organization that Michelle had in the schools for exercise for the kids. I would never do anything that's harmful or hateful to anybody. You know, I'm just not wired like that. That's just not who I am. And when it comes to organizations that I have donated to, these are the things that support the veterans. You know, I have always supported them, not just now, but for years. This is not something new. So I just wanted to let you guys know, you know, this from me, you know, that I would never do anything so disrespectful, and I would just never, I'm just not about hate or anything like that. You know, if you look on my page and see my posts, it's all about love, faith, and connection. That's what I'm all about, you know, and I've always been that way, and I will continue to be just that way. So I just want to thank you guys for, you know, your love and your support, and just taking the time to listen to me right now. I really, really appreciate that. And I love you guys.
Doc, is she lying?
I think people need to realize Chili doesn't, you have to show me a clip of Chili saying she had a political party affiliation. I don't have a political party affiliation. If I want to vote for Trump today, and in 4 years I want to vote Democrat, and another 4 years I want to flip and vote Republican, it's my vote. I'm entitled to vote for whatever I believe in, whatever is moving in the direction that sees fit for my life, what I got going on at the time. And Chili is allowed to do the same. Like, Chili don't got to come out and say, hey, I voted for Obama. That don't mean she can't vote for Trump. That don't mean she can't flip back and go and vote Democrat if she wants. She's entitled to her vote. Every Democrat that gets up here and runs for office isn't the best candidate. Every Republican that gets up here and runs for office isn't the best candidate. People have locked themselves in to, I have to be party line, and they'll vote for someone who's unqualified, who doesn't care about the American people, who doesn't have your best interest at heart. Nothing that they are running on or preaching is ideologically in line with what you believe in. And you're voting for them. Why? Because it's blue or it's red. Chili might have donated to this and said, hey, I see you doing something over there that I believe in, or that I agree with. I'll give some money to that. And then she can look at the other side and say, hey, you're doing something that I believe in. I'll give money to that. She doesn't have to be one way. These people don't have to toe some sort of party line. I think that's what has become on the internet, into people who have given their whole brain to, hey, I'm not thinking for myself. I'm on this side. And I can't see what the other side is bringing or what they're doing. And they're doing a disservice. They're doing a disservice to everyone as well, because they have lost the idea to think freely. And a lot of people have become sheep. A lot of people have become part of the flock, and they'll just go with whatever it is on their line. So I don't know if she's lying or she's just an independent, and she's just doing the stuff that aligns with what she got going on, her life, her family got going on, and what she believes in. Because I vote on either side all the time, and I don't care what they think.
So Mia, do you feel like her fans, her PR team forced her to come out and say that? Like, do you feel like that was going to hurt her career, her donating to Trump?
I mean, I'm sure whatever publicist or crisis PR for the up and coming tour might have been like, hey, at minimum, put out a statement. I mean, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel the same way as Doc. Like, who cares? No offense, TLC is never going to be a number one. All right, they're never recreating the 90s. We've moved past that. I mean, they're never getting there. None of them are. They're all on tour, and I will love to see them. If they come to like Boston or whatnot, I'll be buying tickets and going to view them, no problem. But I mean, these people are never going to get back their past prestige. So if she did vote for Trump or whatever, she just sort of stood on 10 toes and been like, yes, I did. And to be honest, it's none of our business if she did or not. I mean, it really isn't anybody's business. It's not my business who Skeptic voted for, who Doc or Mr. Rippy or Slim or you, Gray. It's not my business. I'm not going to look at you any different. It's not my business. I mind my business, because at the end of the day, everybody's fucking dumb. Okay, it's a class war. It's not a left versus right. It's not anything. It is always a class war. It is always a top versus bottom, period. The left-right people, they all eat together. They all break bread together. They all hang out together. Once those cameras are off, these people are all together. They sit on committees together. They do dinner parties together. They take donations from the same campaign and NGOs. Like, stop being so fucking stupid. Stop thinking in terms of left and right, and understand it is always a class war. It's never been a race war. It's never been a left versus right. It has always been a class war. And once you get out of that mindset, you don't care who somebody votes for, because it's the same bird, just two different colored wings, period. You don't get upset by it. And if more people thought like that, you wouldn't be upset by somebody else's actions.
Go ahead, Slim. What you saying?
You know what the repost was about, right?
Huh? The repost?
If you remember, she basically started the video by saying she ain't got nothing against Michelle Obama. And when she was scrolling, she don't know, she's not computer savvy, and there was a repost. You know what that was about?
I don't remember what it was. It was saying, was it saying that she was a man? I don't remember what it was.
That part was a lot, Slim. Them been lying. She know how to use the motherfucking
Yeah, she does.
That's my point.
That was a lot.
That's my point.
That part was
I just
a lot.
kind of wanted you to touch on that.
You know.
Yeah, she's
like Shannon Sharp.
anti-black.
They know how to work the internet.
You can say that shit was funny. You said, yo, I thought it was funny till y'all got on my ass. That's what you should have said. You know what I'm saying?
I will say, in my lifetime, the only time I've seen people cut people off for their political views is with Trump. I didn't see that with George Bush and with Al Gore, when all that happened. I never saw that with Obama and Mitt Romney. Trump, the only person I've seen where people say, oh, you a Trump supporter, I can't be cool with you. But
I think the rhetoric is like so extreme, though. The things he says are so extreme. You've never seen a president act the way that he does. He literally posted a video where they showed Michelle Obama and Barack Obama as monkeys. Like, his rhetoric is extreme. Like, so at this point, I can't understand if somebody like, hold on a second, what? I do look at people that tell me that they voted for Trump. Like, I'm like, okay. Even at work, like my coworkers and I, it's so funny because we've never really said who we voted for, but we can tell by our rhetoric. Like, do you know what's going on? It's crazy. Like, gas is going up. It's crazy. This ain't on me. I did what I needed to do, you know? And people are fed up. Like, 50,000 troops have been deployed to the Mideast right now as we're speaking. This is not what America wanted. Like, prices are going up on everything. I work with people who don't make a lot of money, and I'm seeing people struggle that are teachers. Public school teachers are struggling to eat. Like, this shouldn't be America. And yeah, when you told me you voted for this, yeah, it's going to make me upset. Like, really? Well, then you should struggle. Why is everybody else having to pay for your bad choice?
My only pushback on that skeptic would be his rhetoric might be like that, but I don't think his ideology is nothing different or new. I think these other people have believed, and that just comes from a billionaire point of view, a billionaire white man in America point of view. So I don't think that Trump has this perspective that these other guys don't have. I just think, and I actually give him credit for the respect for it. I just think he's decided he's not going to hide it and lie about it. He's going to be who he is. He's not the only person who's like that. That's why he has so much support. You know what I mean? Like, he has support because it's not a one-off. So other people have felt like that, but he's the first person who's kind of been honest, and if it's on his mind, he'll blurt it out and say it. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but I think it's given the American people also a insight to somewhat of a political honesty of how some people really may feel. And that's not a Republican or a Democrat thing, because there's Democrats who feel exactly like Trump, but they're boxed into these ideals that they believed in for 30 years and they can't say out loud, and he will. So I think maybe the rhetoric is crazy, but I don't think the ideology, the ideals that go with it are, because I think a lot of them have them. That's how they've been in office so long and running the country.
Well, you brought me to a good clip because Trump shot his shot on Fox News.
Been able to see or hear from any of the Iranian people. And I imagine that is because their internet is shut down. And I think there is some general worry about them. Obviously, their government treats them terribly and killed tens of thousands of them in January. Do you, again, like Kayleigh, I would never ask you to tell us something that is classified, but do you have any insight as to how they are doing? Do they have drinking water? Do they have food?
Right, I do.
It's upsetting.
I do. But first, do you remember when we had lunch years ago in the base of Trump Tower when it was a brand new building?
That's a long time ago, yes.
A long time ago, and you haven't changed.
Oh.
You have not changed. Now, I'm not allowed to say this. It's the end of my political career, but you may be even better looking, okay? So I don't know what you're doing. But I will not say
makeup
that.
has a lot
I will
to do
not
with
say
that.
that because that will end my political career. You know, you're not allowed to say a woman's.
Okay, so Doc said the honesty, so we'll get the other 3 people that voted for Trump to say whether that was appropriate. Slim, was that appropriate?
Yeah, I think it was cool, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Trump is Trump. You know, I'm never going to criticize a man for being human, man. I just can't do it. At the end of the day, that's all he said, and he said it to the world, so he ain't stupid. He don't give a damn.
Mr. Rippey? Mia, you voted.
I agree with Slim. You know,
Okay.
it is. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Mia, you voted for Trump. Was that out of line?
I think it's inappropriate. He does have a very public wife. She's very beautiful. I think it's absolutely inappropriate. I would say him being like, yeah, you know, so good to see you after 5 years. You know, that one time we had lunch or whatever. But I think everything else is a little unnecessary. He does have a very beautiful wife who just had a movie that came out about her life. I mean, it's just super inappropriate, especially from the commander-in-chief, who's supposed to at least pretend that he loves his wife. Like, at least pretend. She's a beautiful woman. I don't know why he's flirting with a Fox News host. I think he should keep his comments to himself and keep it moving. I mean, Melania might not care, according to people in the comments, because she got that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because like embarrassment is embarrassment, regardless if you care. It's like, it's just the decency. Like, yeah, you may be a flirt, but don't flirt so overtly. That is something they could have discussed off camera. At least try to have some semblance of respect for your spouse. They have a child together.
Who knows who she married?
Mother either. I mean, I tell you what, I would have taken my shoe off. I would have real quick off those cameras, taking my shoe off. Like, ain't nobody gonna disrespect me like that on camera. You ain't gonna embarrass me like that and our kid. I don't think so.
Well, Mia, you bring me to my next clip because Chris Brown kissed somebody's wife in front of them at the concert.
That's inappropriate.
Exactly.
He paid for the good tickets too.
Skeppy, you seem shocked.
Yo,
Also,
he just run around just kissing random people.
Yo, you better have a ride home. That's what my husband would have left my ass. He would have been like, he would have
Ain't
been
no home
home.
to come back to.
Yeah, you're right. Wait, where's Ken at? Because Ken would have been up here defending this, you know? He would have been like, y'all don't know their situation.
He would have been too. He would have been like modern relationships are meant to be monogamous. I love Ken. Where is he? Get Ken on the line.
When you were talking,
a friend.
That's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about what Ken had said last time. I don't know. The man didn't look happy, but again, I'm gonna go with Ken. We don't know their situation, but he did not look like he was okay with it. I don't know. Different people got different arrangements, but not. I don't know.
I mean, she was all about it. She had his face locked in. I bet had she like not been holding his face, maybe that wouldn't happen. But she legitimately was all in, 10 toes down. She committed to that.
So we got to ask the guys, if that was your wife and she did that, what's going to happen? Slim, you go first. It's a wrap?
It's a wrap, man. Like, listen, my wife ain't doing that. But how is that not inappropriate? But what Trump said was highly inappropriate. That's crazy to me, yo.
Oh, it's absolutely, both are inappropriate. Both are absolutely inappropriate.
Different spectrum.
Rippey, what would you do in that situation? Think he froze. Doc, what you doing in that situation?
Sorry, my internet's kind of messed up.
You go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what would you do in that situation?
We hear you, Rip.
It's over. The thing is, my wife actually has respect, but yeah, it's done.
Mr.
Wait,
Murphy
one
would have
kiss?
Did y'all hear me?
One kiss is crazy though.
Home.
Like I get like you're upset, but one kiss is crazy. That's not like looking at it from a different lens. She's wrong for that, right? But really, the whole everything
Man,
is
play
over
that
for
clip
one kiss.
again, Gray. Play that shit again. I don't think she's seen the clip,
If
man.
she will kiss a dude she don't know on stage in
But
front
that's
of
Chris
you,
Brown.
in front of you, but on stage in front of you.
That's Chris Brown. That's different.
That's the
That is
justification.
Chris Brown.
Oh,
Who's that? Who's Chris Brown?
Oh, and it looked like she initiated it.
Yeah.
He initiated that.
He's not helping the situation with that tone.
Hey, y'all know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna be like, "Hey, baby, you handle my mixtape."
Oh man!
I saw that took from way back here. Gosh.
I mean, if he would have wrote a check or something, I would have let it go. Because that's publicly, it's public. Like now I can't go back home. Everybody gonna bring it up like, "Oh, you remember this
But
girl?"
then what I'm saying, everybody at your job probably seen this. Everybody in your friend group, your family, everybody in her family. Man, slow singing and flower bringing. We taking it all the way to 10. I'm talking about to the 10th power. Because if she'll do that in front of you, you can't afford to let this bitch out your sight.
That part.
Shit, you can't let her in your sight. If you can't leave her in your sight, you damn sure can't let her out.
Any nigga look like Chris Brown is such.
No, man, what? Don't
No.
let. Shit, she
That's
found
the
a nigga
thing.
with a new car. You know, tell her what this bitch do.
You paranoid, and after that,
She hugging niggas
punch
at
somebody.
the Christmas party. It's over with. Like it's over with.
Chris Brown looking like out the window. It's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like we can all concede that what she did was extremely inappropriate. Extremely inappropriate for a married woman. Just extremely inappropriate. Period. And also, we're not even thinking about Chris Brown could have played that cool, but when you replayed the clip, she definitely opened her mouth and leaned forward, which put him in that position. So if we're gonna keep it 100%, she sexually assaulted him because he may not have agreed to kiss and make out with her on stage, right? And if we reversed it and a male did that to a woman, everybody'd be out there pitchforks. They'd lose their job, they would charges. But at the end of the day, I mean, she literally had her mouth open and moved his face towards hers. He probably played it off cool because he is, he's a master of his craft. But at the same time, it's like we need to ask ourselves, did he want to make out with her? Did he want tongue? Did he want all of this? She just took it upon herself to do that.
This might be a blessing, though. This might be a blessing. Bro might been trying to get rid of this bitch for forever. And he might
look like that. His face.
He might.
Yeah, he looked upset.
He got to look blowed. I would have been over there looking like, thank God I could keep the house now.
But how'd the cameraman know that like the cameraman was on point? He was like,
They
cameraman
probably
was like,
seen her from the
husband.
crowd. They probably seen her from the crowd when she got picked and came out. They seen her when she was with in the crowd. Like they see you when you get picked.
Because that cameraman was low-key messy. He was like, okay, where's the husband now? Like, what?
Well, that's like that Coldplay camera guy that caught the cheating couple way at the top over there. He knew. He's like, I gotta watch them. They look too happy.
And Slim, I think the difference with that Slim that Trump was talking about, he went on a date with that chick. So he had already met up with her. So now you don't know what happened. Chris Brown thing was right in front of him. But
I don't think Trump's sticking his tongue down nobody's throat, though. I'm just saying.
I mean, he got like 5 kids. He clearly knows how to do it.
Oh, yeah, he actually said he did.
I'm sure.
So we're going to play our last clip of the night, and this is the last celebrity crash out. He flipped his car over with a DUI, and this is Trump talking about him.
Oh, shit. Tiger.
So badly, he's got some difficulty. There was an accident, and that's all I know. Very close friend of mine. He's an amazing person, amazing man, but some difficulty. I don't want to talk about it.
What's the reaction to what
So, Mr. Rippey, Tiger Woods is actually in a relationship with Donald Jr.'s ex-wife. So, you know, he's kind of related to the Trumps. You didn't know that? He's kind of related to the Trumps. So, like, he's, you know, been through a lot of turmoil. He was with a lot of women. Now he's had a drinking problem before. So, do you feel like Tiger Woods is a good representative of what conservatives and the MAGA is?
Oh, hell no. Definitely not. Like, what girl would want to date somebody like went through all the shit that he done went through? I mean, come on. This is a joke. But people can say the same thing about Trump.
True.
I like that. Yo, if you stay loyal to Trump, yo, you could get on there and do anything, right? You get up there and do anything. I think that's why he gets so mad at people, though, really, that go against the grain. Because he'll get up there and be like, yeah, Tiger has some difficulties. He ain't say none of the stuff he could have said about Tiger. You see what I'm saying? So I think Trump keep it loyal. And that's why when them folks go back on him, he be like, come on, I would have never did you like this in the public, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Because when you see some people get caught doing some wild stuff, and Trump will get up there and be like, I'm gonna talk to him, and we'll figure it out. And you know, I love him. We got close ties, and that's all he'll say, bro. Being real. Now, once you go against the grain, he gonna, you know what I'm saying? He gonna, you know what I'm saying, throw you in the deepest pit he could find. You know what I'm saying? But Trump done really spared a lot of people who got fucked up shit on their jacket if they rocking with him. You know what I'm saying? He looking out.
I 1,000% agree with you on that. If you're watching right now, hit the subscribe button and press that notification bell and know when we go live. Mia, what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are the USDA has come out and said that due to the ongoing war that we are having in Iran and the Middle East, that beef prices are about to skyrocket 10% and potentially sugar as well for the lack of nitrogen, because obviously there's conflict going on. So I would implore everybody to really start food prepping and figuring out alternative ways to get food, to keep food longer, and to be less wasteful, because 10% is a lot when beef is already super expensive for a lot of people. And as always, remember, it is a class war, not a race war or a left versus white. It's always been a class war.
Skeptic, what's your final thoughts?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to the troops that have been very brave and wanting to protect our country. And also, I think if you have an ability to help your community, you should do so. We gave out free plates of food where I live at. Everybody donated something to give out, and all the plates were gone within like 3 hours. And we live in a really small town. So if you have a way to help your community, if you are blessed to give even a little, do that. Like, you never know who you're going to help. You never know who is struggling. And I work with children. There are many children that are out here that don't have food in their houses, that come to school hungry. So I think it's going to get tough. Like Mia was saying, women, if you go to a concert, don't get divorced out there, girls. Don't go home with no ride and no house to go home to. Like, that's crazy. It's okay to have a crush on a celebrity, but he won't be home waiting for you when you get there. So stay faithful. Don't give it all up for Chris Brown, y'all. And we will be back Wednesday and follow the new party, Man Cave.
For sure. Mr. Rippey, welcome back. What's your final thoughts?
I would say step outside the box and just start talking to people. I say this a lot, but where you get your news from doesn't necessarily mean that's a solidified truth. Step outside, listen to other people. Stop listening to what people say about other people and listen to the other person, because there's a huge battle going on between the right and left, even when it comes down to this war. And I don't know all the details. I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of study. I've talked to my Persian friends, people that served in the military, but in Iran, people that served for the Artist military. They're saying something completely different than the people on the right that I follow, people on the left. Look at everything and analyze, let it swirl around in your brain before you come up with the conclusion and be emotional about some shit that you don't know about.
For sure. I was just on Slim video shoot this weekend. We go premiere one of his video once it's edited Slim, what's your final thoughts?
Yeah, man, straight up love to that, man. But yeah, another good show. And remember, we live in a country where you can actually protest against this leader as a dictator and still go home and order Uber Eats, watch Netflix, and be chilling. So with that being said, God bless America, man. Man cave.
For sure. Doc, what's your final thoughts?
Just like y'all seen at that concert, man, it's a lot of these troops going out here and they ain't secure with their bitch. And she wild, just like Shorty who was on stage. I need y'all boys to please spare them these upcoming weekends. A lot of them boys can't take it. I done seen dudes on dish duty. I done seen dudes on latrine duty. Cause she done ran off and took everything. You know what I'm saying? So y'all boys, if y'all run into one of them and she say my husband going to Iran, y'all spare that man. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I mean? It's gonna break his heart. You know what I'm saying? She ain't even at no Chris Brown concert. She was some dusty nigga from the bar. So yeah, man. Y'all brothers over there, if y'all see this, you don't need her, bro. Keep your head focused, keep your head on the swivel and pay attention, man. Cave.
For sure. I'll be hosting all week. Nora's taking the week off, so we'll be back tomorrow talking about the Iran war. We do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night. Man Cave.